Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel where we dive deep into the latest and most shocking spoilers, predictions and theories for the bold and the beautiful. Today's topic is explosive and trust me, you're not going to want to miss a second of this breakdown. We're talking about none other than Thomas Forrester, his possible plans for revenge, and how Brooke-Logan might become his next big target. All in the name of his mother, Taylor Hayes. Is Thomas really about to wage war against Brooke? Could this be the ultimate revenge storyline that finally flips the balance of power in Los Angeles? And if so, what would it mean for Ridge, Taylor, Hope, and everyone caught in the crossfire? Buckle up because in this video we're diving into the spoilers, theories, and possible story arcs that could make this one of the most intense showdowns we've seen in years. To really understand what's coming, we have to look back at Thomas's complicated and messy history with Brooke-Logan. Brooke has never fully trusted Thomas. From the very beginning she's seen him as manipulative, obsessive, and dangerous, especially when it comes to his unhealthy fixation on Hope Logan. Let's not forget some of Thomas's darkest moments. He faked Caroline's letter to win Hope's sympathy. He manipulated Douglas by using him as leverage. He orchestrated schemes to separate Hope and Liam. And of course, that creepy mannequin obsession storyline that showed just how far gone Thomas was. Brooke was the first to raise alarms about Thomas, and honestly she wasn't wrong. For a long time Thomas was unstable and dangerous. But here's the twist. Brooke's constant opposition has only made Thomas resent her more. She's always stood in his way, whether it was about his career at Forrester Creations, his relationship with Hope, or his place in the family. And now, with Taylor back in the picture, Thomas sees Brooke as the biggest obstacle not just to himself, but to his mother's happiness. If there's one thing Thomas wants more than redemption, it's to see his mother happy. And in Thomas's eyes that means Taylor being with Ridge. But of course there's one problem. Brooke-Logan. Ridge has been caught between Brooke and Taylor for decades, and no matter how many times he swears loyalty he always bounces back and forth. Brooke is his destiny, at least in his own words. Thomas sees this cycle and he's had enough. From his perspective, Brooke has caused nothing but chaos in their family. Every scandal, every heartbreak, every tear that Taylor has shed, it can all be traced back to Brooke. So if Thomas wants to secure Taylor's future with Ridge, the math is simple. He has to take Brooke down. Now here's where things get really juicy. According to the latest spoilers and hints from behind the scenes, Thomas may be gearing up for a revenge storyline. And who better to target than Brooke-Logan herself? But how exactly would he do it? Let's run through some theories. 1. Exposing Brooke's secrets. We all know Brooke has a closet full of skeletons. Affairs, betrayals, scandals, you name it. Thomas could dig into her past and use those secrets to destroy her image. Imagine him exposing old affairs or manipulating situations to make Brooke look like the untrustworthy one in Ridge's eyes. 2. Framing Brooke for something she didn't do. Thomas is a master manipulator. He's forged letters, staged accidents, and twisted the truth before. What if he sets Brooke up for something that makes Ridge question her loyalty? This could range from business sabotage at Forrester Creations to personal betrayals involving Deacon or Bill. 3. Turning Hope against Brooke. Here's a chilling possibility. Thomas might try to manipulate Hope into siding with him instead of her mother. If Thomas can make Brooke look like the bad guy in Hope's eyes, that would not only hurt Brooke emotionally but also weaken her influence over Ridge and Douglas. 4. Using Douglas as a weapon. We can't forget Douglas. He's the emotional core of Thomas's life, and Thomas has often used him as leverage. What if he plants ideas in Douglas' mind that turn him against Brooke, painting her as the villain in the family? That would be the ultimate low blow. 5. Exposing Brooke and Deacon's connection. Brooke's lingering bond with Deacon is always a sore spot. Thomas could exploit this. Maybe by catching them in a compromising situation, twisting the truth and making Ridge believe Brooke has betrayed him again. If Thomas really does target Brooke, the fallout would be massive. Let's break it down character by character. Ridge, he would be torn apart. On one hand, he loves Brooke and always gravitates back to her. But if Thomas exposes something that makes Brooke look unfaithful or manipulative, Ridge may finally turn to Taylor for comfort. This could push Ridge back into Taylor's arms. Exactly what Thomas wants. Taylor. If Ridge returns to her, Taylor might finally feel like she's won. But deep down, Taylor isn't manipulative like Thomas. If she realizes her son schemed to make it happen, she might feel guilty, or worse, push Ridge away again. Hope she would be stuck in the middle. Hope has grown closer to Thomas recently, seeing him as a better father and a more stable partner in Douglas' life. But if Thomas attacks her mother, would she stand by him, or turn her back on him once again? Brooke. Of course Brooke would be devastated. She's used to being the center of drama, but Thomas going after her directly could threaten everything. Her marriage, her family, and even her standing at Forrester Creations. Here's the big question. How far would Thomas go in his revenge? We've seen him spiral before. His schemes often start small but escalate into dangerous territory. If he feels cornered or if his plans backfire, there's a real chance Thomas could lose control again. This raises another theory. Could the show set Thomas up for a redemption versus relapse storyline? If he goes too far against Brooke, he could lose everything: Hope, Douglas, and his family's trust. But if he succeeds, he could emerge as the new puppet master of the bold and the beautiful, finally shifting the power dynamic in his family. If Thomas really targets Brooke, the writers are setting up a long-term feud that could fuel storylines for months, even years. Think about it. Brooke versus Thomas could become the new central rivalry. Ridge being forced to choose between loyalty to Brooke and his son Thomas would create endless tension. Hope's torn feelings could lead to a shocking love triangle: Hope, Thomas, and maybe even Liam re-entering the picture. And let's not forget the Forrester versus Logan rivalry. If Thomas goes after Brooke, the Logans will strike back, and this could reignite the family wars that fans love so much. Fans of the bold and the beautiful are divided when it comes to Thomas. Some want to see him redeemed once and for all, becoming a loving father and a stable partner. Others believe Thomas is at his best when he's scheming and manipulative. Targeting Brooke could satisfy both sides. On one hand, Thomas is defending his mother, which makes him sympathetic. On the other, he's diving back into his darker side, which keeps the drama high. And let's be honest, fans love to hate Brooke. She's iconic, but she's also the queen of scandal. If anyone deserves a dose of revenge, it might just be her. What do I think will actually happen? I predict that Thomas will start small, maybe by subtly undermining Brooke's credibility. He might plant doubts in Ridge's mind, make Hope question her mother's motives, and stir up trouble at Forrester Creations. Over time, his schemes will escalate. He could expose Brooke's secrets, twist her friendship with Deacon into something scandalous, and eventually create a situation where Ridge feels betrayed enough to turn back to Taylor. But here's the kicker. Thomas's plans will backfire. They always do. And when they do, Thomas will once again be forced to face the consequences. The real drama won't be whether Thomas succeeds in taking down Brooke. It'll be whether he loses everything in the process. And there you have it. Thomas's possible revenge arc against Brooke Logan. Do you think Thomas is really capable of targeting Brooke for Taylor's sake? Or is this just another red herring from the writers? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I love reading your theories, and who knows, maybe one of your predictions will actually come true on the show. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a single bold and the beautiful update. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.